Let's get into the details and begin on galamsey. Now, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research is predicting that it could take 300 years to restore the quality of soil devastated by illegal mining. Unapproved chemicals and heavy metals used in illegal mining have contaminated many farmlands across the country. Speaking on Current Affairs program News File, research scientist of CSIR Soil Research Institute, Dr. Albert Kobina-Mensah, explained that the situation might worsen if steps are not taken to tackle this severe environmental damage caused by galamsey.
As a matter of fact, there's a calculation that some of us have done, and we wanted to see how many years it would take for, let's say, for the soil to sort of restore to its natural state. And we were trying to use some plants, which the process is called phytoremediation, to see how it is going to remediate the chemicals from the soil. And the calculation shows, if you want to get to the pristine condition, the calculation shows somewhere more than 300 years. More than 300 years. So, as a matter of fact, when it comes to remediation or when it comes to restoration of a degraded mining site, we can stop. We can reclaim to a state that it can be used in another form. But for us to return the land to its original state, it is very dicey. It's very dicey. So it's something that we may have to take into consideration. But of course, we can return the land to forestry.
Go ahead and share your go ahead and share your research results with that, because we're hearing from you to take 300 years. We have heard from another expert who was suggesting 40, 50 or so. But let's keep that conversation going. Let's go straight to what your research reveals, what it is that we are confronted with.
So I have worked on mine tailings that are actually abandoned from the artisanal small-scale mining, and I have also worked on mine tailings from artisanal small-scale mining sites that have been used to grow lettuce. But before I go on, let us take a look at heavy metals. Heavy metals are categorized into two: the essential heavy metal and non-essential heavy metal. Now, the essential heavy metals like zinc, like copper, and others, those ones are needed by the human in certain metabolic processes. But there are others like lead, others like arsenic, others like chromium. Those ones are not needed in any quantity for the plant or for human beings to consume. So they become of concern. And actually, this lead, arsenic, and chromium are associated with cancer. Now, apart from the fact that they are associated with cancer, if you look at heavy metal like copper, you see what makes it heavy is that it is inorganic, and when it accumulates in the body, it stays there because it is not biodegradable. The body system cannot act on it to sort of biodegrade it, so it sits in there. For instance, when it comes to copper is supposed to be regulated in the human body, so that we don't have to get concerned with copper. But copper stays in the body and it accumulates and it leads to a disease called wasting disease. Now, wasting disease is very much associated with copper, which is called copper disease.
Medical doctor and toxicologist Dr. Bright Boafo-Boama also revealed that it could take between 10 to 15 years to restore Ghana's water bodies polluted by illegal mining activities.
This issue, I don't want to sound nihilistic anyway, but I think we've gone far than what we are supposed to do. Because what I think is, now these sites, currently we are dealing with emerging contaminants in the world that we are trying to fight. So issues like galamsey, these heavy metals should be legacy. I mean, it should be things of the past. But if you are dealing with these issues now, then it means that we are way like years back of protecting our environment. Yeah, so talking about the various issues dealing with these possible heavy metals, we are looking at human health, we are looking at animal health, and the environment. So there's this one health paradigm where we kind of put everything together, because you cannot separate human health from animal health. Now, looking at one industry that I foresee having a big issue is the pharmaceutical industry. Because in Ghana, I know most of these industries, especially when it comes to the infusions that we use in the hospitals, they need this ultra pure water. And having these heavy metals in them, the treatment is not that easy. And it's very, very expensive.
Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo is set to speak to the nation about galamsey to make public various measures the government is implementing to deal with illegal mining menace. This was revealed by a Deputy Chief of Staff at the President, Sieduma Bosman, when the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra sent a petition to President Akufo-Addo asking him to declare a state of emergency over galamsey.
Assure you, as soon as he returns from international assignment, he would have a dialogue with the country. He shall speak to the nation, because this matter is of prime interest to all of us. It cuts across everybody. It goes beyond politics. It cuts across every citizen, and we shall give the utmost attention to it.
Let's do some other stories, and on a rather sad note, 4 persons are said to have died in an accident which happened at East Legon this afternoon. According to the Ghana National Fire Service's live stream on Facebook, the 4 have been burnt beyond recognition. Extrication ongoing to remove the remains currently. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon, followers of the Ghana National Fire Service page. This is Edwin Alex Kingnati coming to you live from East Legon, where there's been a terrible accident involving 2 vehicles and causing the vehicles to get bent beyond recognition. So as it stands now, officers are trying their best to extricate.
Four legs.
So 4 people.
Let's get a better understanding of what happened. Alex Kingnati is the PRO for the Ghana National Fire Service and joins us with more. Alex, many thanks for your time. Have the cause of the accident been established yet?
Okay, so thank you very much. A little correction. I'm not a PR, I'm a member of the Public Relations Department.
Right.
So the cause of the accident is still under investigation, but what we've gathered is that the 2 vehicles actually that were involved in the accident was a Jaguar saloon vehicle and then an Acura 4x4 vehicle. It looks like the Jaguar vehicle was overspeeding, coming from the T junction and ran into the Acura that had 3 passengers in there. So as a result of the collision, they end up hitting a wooden electric pole, forcing the wire from the electric pole to fall on the vehicle, starting a fire. But due to the collision, the 2 occupants of the vehicle, of the Acura vehicle, at the back seat were trapped and couldn't come out when the fire started. So when we got there, we were able to rescue the 2 passengers from the Jaguar.
You said, Alex, you said rescue. It means they are, did they survive?
So we had the 2 passengers from the Jaguar survived and were rushed to the hospital. They are in critical condition, and we are hoping that they will pull through. And then the driver of the Acura also survived. But then the 2 other, so it's actually just 2 people that got burned. So the 2 people in the Acura were trapped at the back seat and couldn't come out. And as a result, they got burned.
Have you been able to locate their families yet?
No, so for now, we've not been able to locate the family because they were in critical condition and were rushed to the hospital. So we are hoping that they pull through, and when they pull through, we should be able to get some information from them.
All
the police were also there, so they will help, will collaborate in being able to establish the cause and then help to trace the families. We'll follow up with a visit to the hospital to ascertain if they survived and get the needed information that will help us in our investigation also.
Well, thank you so much, Alex Kinnati, from the PR team of the Ghana National Fire Service, and our sympathies going out to the families of those involved in this accident. Moving on, the national chairperson of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, has alleged that the New Patriotic Party is plotting to capture the next parliament. He indicated that governing party is sponsoring independent candidates in a bid to create a lame duck presidency to make governance difficult for John Dramani Mahama. He was addressing a rally at Sovie in the Kpando constituency of the Volta region.
The national chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, visited about 10 constituencies during his campaign tour of the Volta region to canvass for votes for the opposition party. Addressing the various rallies, he promised development projects with specific mention of the Eastern Corridor Road among others when NDC is voted into power. He therefore warned against voting skirt and blouse, which cost the NDC the Ohwe parliamentary seat in 2020.
Don't allow any independent candidate to take advantage of the name of President Mahama or NDC as presidency and then work against our candidates here. It is a strategy by MPP. MPP is financing those who are doing that. And they know why they are doing it. They want to create a lame duck president from President John Dramani Mahama, so that when he becomes president and parliament is captured by another party, then we cannot win. Anybody who is doing that one can certainly not be the lover of President Mahama. He just wants to use the name of President Mahama to achieve his political end. And we are not going to allow it.
The Volta Regional NDC chairman, Mauto Agbavito, appealed to the electorate to help the opposition party clinch victory to transform the country. The NDC targets over 80% of total votes in the Volta region, hoping this would push it to emerge victorious in the December 7, 2024 general elections. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News.
Let's take a quick break. We'll return with more news stories. Please stay. Welcome back. You're still watching JoyNews Prime with me, Sweetie Abochi. Now, before that break, I brought you the story of the chairperson of the NDC alleging that the New Patriotic Party is intentionally sponsoring independent candidates to create a lame duck government for the next party. And this has come to the attention of the New Patriotic Party, and they're rejecting it. Joining me now for more is Haruna Mohammed. He's Deputy General Secretary for the NPP. Haruna, many thanks for your time. Now, I believe this allegation has come to your attention. How do you respond to it?
Thank you very much. I would like to say good evening to your cherished viewers and you yourself, Sisi Abochi. I think that it is a baseless allegation. It's an allegation that cannot stand the test of time. We in the New Patriotic Party are very confident of winning majority in Parliament and winning the presidential election. I think that the NDC has realized that the MPP has done a lot of its homework to be able to annex the presidency and the legislature. The constitution of the New Patriotic Party frowns on independent candidature. So we would be the last part to focus on this particular area.
So you are not sponsoring, the NPP is not sponsoring any independent candidate?
We have candidates to sponsor. That is the MPP parliamentary candidates for all the 276 constituents. We have no basis to go and sponsor any independent. Maybe, you see, when the NDC says something, it's something that they have done before, so they think we are doing it. So unfortunately, I am telling Mr. Nketia that we are not doing what they did. So they should not be thinking that we have gone to sponsor anybody. We have our candidates to sponsor, very quality candidates, very responsible candidates, and we are very confident that we are going to win majority of the seats in the next
Haruna Mohammed, thank you so much for your time. Moving on to other stories now. Trinity Training Institute has committed to improve TVET education in the country by upscaling the youth. At its 9th graduation ceremony, Director for the Institute, Victor Ajale, said the school will continuously impact the youth with the needed vocational skills aimed at helping to improve living conditions.
The 9th graduation ceremony of Trinity Institute saw students who have excelled in areas such as truck driving, vehicle maintenance, off-road driving, makeup artistry, and fashion, graduating after completing all necessary coursework. According to the director of the institute, Victor Ajale, the institute is committed to impacting the youth with relevant skills needed to achieve success.
When you come to Trinity Institute, our trainings are practical based. So looking at the students, we were even amazed. Some of them showed up much improvement than we've expected, and then we think they are ready for the job market, and then with these skills they've acquired, they can work anywhere they want to work.
A graduate of the school, Andrew and Danny Hammond, shared that the training has been impactful.
I came in as an automatic driver, but with the long track that I'm living, it's manual. So the first day, I told my lecturer that I'm only good at automatic cars, and he was like, "Oh, I shouldn't worry. Since I'm at Trinity, he will help me out." He took time with me throughout the week. It was an intense training, and I really enjoyed how he trained me. We weren't really pressured on anything. We did our best to, and God being so good today, I can proudly say I can move the long track, both forward and reverse.
The school also specializes in forklift and excavator operation, general electricals, and plumbing.
Let's pivot to the National Science and Math Quiz. Now, the brain power shutdown is back with anticipations building in the Central Region. The 2024 edition of the National Science and Math Quiz has officially kicked off within the precinct of the University of Cape Coast, with more than 80 schools already arriving. With 126 schools gearing up for a fierce battle in the preliminary stages, it's safe to say the competition is about to be lit with equations, chemistry, and mind-blowing science facts. My colleague Jacqueline and Somayabwa has more.
Cape Coast, famously known as Ghana's hub of education, is buzzing with excitement as students from all corners of the country gather for this year's National Science and Math Quiz, with the preliminary stages set to commence on Monday. Each school is hoping to outshine their opponents in an accelerating academic smackdown. Students who have arrived in Cape Coast are already sharing their excitement and thoughts about the competition.
We have prepared and we are ready for the contest. We have done our best and we just hope that God will crown our efforts. Okay. Yes, please.
And I know your school is meeting St. Peter's. Yeah. They've been champions before. How do you feel about that? Knowing that you're meeting some once upon a time a champion school.
Actually, we know that if we do our best, there's nothing too big for God to accomplish. So as long as we have done our best, we know that you crown our efforts.
One of their coordinators is also here with me. Sir, please, your name?
Botoski for short.
Botoski for short.
Botoski, yeah, that's the name.
Well, I know your school is meeting St. Peter's. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I feel excited. I feel great. You know what? If God wants to do something great in your life, that's how things start coming about. So there's one thing that I'm going to say. Some people say it is possible, but I say with God, all things are possible. La ila ila la. Inshallah, Hohoi EP Senior High School, we are qualified.
Well, we are preparing very hard to meet them. This contest is going to be a tough contest, but we are preparing very hard to meet them. So it's a win for us.
It's a win, eh? Yes. It's a win or nothing else?
Yes, it's a win for us.
Do you see Agri Memorial as a threat, though?
No, but it's normal. But we are going to meet them. We are preparing very hard to meet them. Yeah.
Ghana National in Afana.
Right, that's a tough contest. And how do you see that? How do you see that contest, by the way?
Oh, it's going to go well. It's either we qualify with them or we qualify and we leave them behind. That's the only...
is it that you qualify with them
or we qualify and leave them behind? That's the way forward.
All right, you are part of the coordinators for your school, and so far, how is it going?
Well, everything is going on well, and then in fact we're here for the ultimate, for the trophy.
For the trophy.
Sure.
Well, the competition has begun. We look forward to the best schools winning. And the 2024 National Science and Math Quiz is produced by Prime Time Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with GWEL PLC and supported by Pepsodent, Jupay and Prudential Life Insurance Ghana. The broadcast of the 2024 National Science and Math Quiz is supported by NASCO, Vitamilk, Virtual Security Africa, Ace Medical Insurance, Build Financial Technologies, BDS Roofing, Syntex Tanks, Family Health Medical School, Chopbox Technologies, and Action Secondary Technical. And that's how we're wrapping up for the bulletin this evening. Many thanks for your time. But for more news, log on to myjoyonline.com to stay informed and updated. My name is Sweetie Abochi. It's bye for now.